What's going on, guys? Coach Abby here to bring you some tips and tricks on your jiu-jitsu journey and ultimately help you become 1% better every single day. Today I'm going to be talking about something that my husband and I have discussed for a while now in the jiu-jitsu world and what maybe outsiders think or see when looking in, and that is jiu-jitsu cult-like? This is funny because it can go in a million different directions, but today I'm just going to be talking about maybe two specific ideas that we have pulled out as we've been in jiu-jitsu for so long. So number one, I'm going to let you know that I think anything can really become a cult if it is controlled by certain people that are hungry for power, leverage, control, those types of things. And you can, in fact, look at that in a lot of different ways in CrossFit, in other sports teams, in jiu-jitsu, in certain churches, in certain schools. This is something that can come about based on the leaders and the people around and the atmosphere of where you are. So number one, I would say just look around and see how influential the leaders are, how much they have tried to control and talk into people. But I would say on average, most jiu-jitsu schools are pretty close-knit because it is life or death scenarios. It is very intricate. It is very time consuming. And so obviously the more time that you spend there, the more intense sport or technique that you're learning, you're going to get closer with the partners and people that you're working with. But it's not going to be a cult if you don't allow certain things to control your availability, your time, your money. Those things are important, and especially your relationships. So know that it is a sacrifice, that there are things that you'll invest in jiu-jitsu like any other area of your life that you want to better. But the whole cult idea only comes from where it becomes so focused on the people to where then they're starting to see control problems, putting other people down or brainwashing, things like that, that might go very surface level or right underneath, but other people can see it from the outside because they're not involved. And that happens a lot of times with other groups. So I would say, is it impossible? No, but most of the time it's just because they've spent a lot of time with each other. They've done a lot of hard things like enduring chokes and certain submissions, and that brings a sense of closeness when you do an extreme sport like this. The second thing I'm going to say is it also depends on the school. So how long has the school been around? What kind of people are within the school? How are the other instructors and teachers and coaches there? Are they encouraging you to spend time with your family? Are they encouraging you to do other things outside of jiu-jitsu? There should be a sense of accountability, yes, because that is a team-oriented type of sport or activity. So you might have people ask you, hey, where have you been? We haven't seen you. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Are you going to keep training? That's one thing. But if, a coach or somebody says, like, you really haven't been here, you should show up more. And it gets to a point where it's a little bit controlling, then maybe take a step back and analyze. But like I said, I think that jiu-jitsu, yes, it can have a cult-like feeling if you allow it to become not just your identity, but everything in between, and you allow the coaches, instructors, professors to be part of your decision-making in any other areas outside of your jiu-jitsu sport or career. The second thing that I'll just rehash is ask yourself good questions, because like I mentioned in the very beginning of this video, anything has the potential to be cult-like or culty. And so what I would say is, it's one thing if you have a really strong, close-knit team. It's another thing if you start seeing underlying problems. Then you might want to not just ask questions, but maybe take a step back and see if it's something that's really bettering you and your family and yourself, or it's something that's starting to control other decision-making things outside of your day-to-day life. So I hope that was helpful. I think that it's something that we should be aware of. I think us as humans, we like to be included. We like to know what's going on. We like to feel involved, and that's not a problem. It's the people that are around with the control, the authority, the influence. Those are things that we all as humans just want to be aware of day in and day out in life. That goes from our careers to jiu-jitsu, to our activities, to our religious, groups that were involved. But like I said, you can make the distinction. You can, in fact, look and observe. And I'm sure that you'll see that, most of the time, they're just close-knit families. They're just close-knit communities. But there are cases where it could be a little bit sketchy. And that's when you do want to take a step back and ask questions. I personally have never been involved in any of those culty type of schools, but I do know they exist. I do know that that can be a problem, and so what we want to do is simply address it, work our way through that problem, and just move on. But don't think that jiu-jitsu is going to be a completely negative thing just because somebody that is negative or that is controlling is involved in jiu-jitsu. That's something that I think I've seen people struggle with in jiu-jitsu, but also just in day-to-day life with other things that they've invested a lot of time into. So I hope, once again, that you're able to take something away from this. If you are interested in trying jiu-jitsu, look at a good school, look at the environment, the people, the coaches, professors. Ask yourself good questions, try it out for a week, make a decision based on what you're seeing, because a lot of us do have instincts. Our intellect is strong when we are aware and observant of what to look for. So go out, try something. If you feel like you have a close-knit community, be appreciative of that. And I will see you guys next time.